Hey gang, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Stud Pack Dream House build. In our last video, you saw the Stud Pack team lift 3,000 pounds of Advantech subflooring up onto the second floor and secure it down with our brand new quick drive system. And that video had 1,000 comments in the first 24 hours. Absolutely epic, gang. But only one of them was about the foam we put in between those two boards up there. So that's telling us a bunch of you aren't watching the end of our videos. You gotta stay tuned because you never know what we're gonna throw at you. But as far as that subfloor is concerned, we absolutely love the way it turned out. But what we don't love is how we're having to get up there. That's 11 foot in the air, and all I have is an 8-foot ladder, and it's a little bit sketchy sometimes. So in this video, we're gonna show you all the tools you need, and it's really not that many. Plus, we're gonna show you a free website that does all the math for you, and it gives you a bonus measurement to eliminate cumulative error. If you're not sure what that is, stick around. We're gonna show you. Let's get started. But before we get started on the stairs, we wanna give a massive thank you to the sponsor of today's video, AG1. AG1 is great for your gut, great for your immune system, and it powers our minds, which is important for us today because we got to figure out all the math on these stairs. AG1 is made up of 75 high-quality ingredients, all curated together to give your body all the nourishment it needs. And it's a super simple daily habit to get into. Just chug it down in the morning, we're set to go all day long. Woo, and we got to be honest with you, gang. It is hot here in Texas, well over 100 degrees every day. And instead of relying on caffeine and chemicals, we rely on AG1 to give us the nourishment and the energy we need to stay focused all day long as we build the awesome Stud Pack Dream House the best that we can. So if you've been thinking about making some lifestyle changes to get healthier, I can't think of a better way than AG1. Head on over to drinkag1.com/studpack to get started on your order today. And for our viewers, they're going to send you a year's supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 free travel packs. So a massive thank you to AG1 for sponsoring this video. Now let's jump into these stairs. Now this set of stairs couldn't be any simpler. It's just a straight flight of stairs, no landing. The critical dimension we need and that you're gonna need is the difference between the finished floor down here and the finished floor on your second story. We already know that the concrete is our finished floor down here, but Jordan hasn't decided yet what he's gonna put upstairs. Because after all, he's the GC, he's financing the place, he's the owner, he's the videographer, he's the editor, and so now he has to be an interior designer and pick out a floor that not only he can get today, but that he can get 2 or 3 years later that's gonna match and be able to tie in to the second floor on the main house. So he's got quite a big load.
You're stressing me out.
Okay, all right. So Jordan knows he wants something about 1/2 inch thick, 12 millimeters, a hardwood engineered product. Now they come in different thicknesses, 7/16, 5/8, but if he picks something in the ballpark, you'll never know the difference on that top tread when you make that final step onto the landing. Now I'm dropping my tape straight down, knowing that our subfloor is level with the landing where Jordan is. I'm at 133 and 5/8. So we're gonna add 1/2 inch. So we're at 134 and 1/8 to the top of our subfloor. If Jordan picks something out that's 3/4 of an inch thick, or if he goes cheap on us and picks out something 1/4, we're still gonna be fine within that 1/4 inch range. So we've got that number. The other number we need is the depth of each tread. Standard is 10 inches, and that's actually what the architect specified on the plans. So now that we have those two numbers, let's head inside where it's air conditioned and show you the super secret website that's gonna crank out all the math for you and make your stair building project the easiest one you've ever done. All right guys, we're using a website called blocklayer.com. We showed it to you before when we were doing some crown molding. This website is fantastic. Helps you do calculations for everything construction. You'll see right there, there's our crown molding. It does roof calculations, pulleys, gears, fences. Just mess around on there. You're gonna find it can help you with all of your projects. But we're gonna use stair calculators right here, and we've already filled in all of our information. If you have a question about what they're asking for, just hover over the little green question mark and it'll tell you what they're talking about. So we're gonna go top tread set down. We selected that. Our total rise we filled in at 11 foot 3 1/8 inches. We just converted our 135 1/8 inches to feet. Below that is our ideal rise. The software is going to fill that in for you, but you can change it if you want. Up here at stringer width, that is just the width of your stringer material. We are using a 2x12 and it is 11 1/4 inches wide. If you're using an LVL, whatever it is you have on your project, just measure the width and plug it into that column right there. Stair width, we're just less than 4. We're going to leave that alone. show headroom. That's pretty cool. It is the headroom that code requires so you don't hit your head on the second floor. We're gonna put in 8 feet because we want as much room as we can there to get Jordan's massive furniture to the second floor. Our floor thickness is pretty critical right there because it needs that information to calculate the headroom height. We calculated ours, actually measured it 13 3/8. Up here at tread thickness, we're gonna use the leftover Advantech and cover it with 1/2 inch finish floor, 1 5/8, pretty stout. And we're doing the same thing on the risers, just plug in the numbers for the materials that you are gonna use. The nosing, that is the amount the tread hangs over the riser. We like 3/4, put in the number you want, 0, whatever it is. We're not gonna mess with balusters because we don't have any, so let's punch calculate, Jordan, see what we get. Nice, now the software has done all the math for us. Look at all the information it's giving you. And check down here at the bottom where it says 170 inches. That is the length of our stairway according to our plans. But look what you can do. If you wanted to add a rise or subtract a rise, all you have to do is click that, and now it added a stair for you, and now it added another one, and you can also take them away and dial your stairway in to the opening that you have. Now let's roll down here to our stringers. It shows you all the math on the stringer before it's cut and after it's cut. And do you remember that secret measurement we told you about and how it's going to help you prevent cumulative error? Well, this is what we were talking about. Now right here on the cut stringer, you can see that all these numbers are 1/2 inch apart until you get to the top 2 steps where they are 9/16 apart. So the software has already accounted for the accumulated error and it's added a 16th to the top 2 steps so that you don't have all that error in one step. And there's our notching template for all our stringers. And here's the diagrams to PDF. You can convert it to a PDF and print it full size on your printer. So not only have we printed our full scale stringer notching template, we've actually printed all the measurements. So let's head outside, put these on our stringers and start cutting some wood. So before we start cutting our stringers, let's show you what tools you need. They're not that many and they're not that expensive. You're gonna need a framing square like this to lay out all of your stringers, your triangle cuts. I just like to clamp a piece of 2x or plywood with a couple of cheap C-clamps like that. It slides real easy. You could get these. I've had these for a while. They're made to clamp on the edge of the framing square. They do the same thing, but I like that. Now we don't want to use a big fat carpenter's pencil, so I've got some nice sharp number 2s right here ready to go. Gonna have to have a circular saw. I guess you could do it with a jigsaw. Circular saw is gonna be much better. We don't want to overcut the corners of our stringers, so you're gonna have to finish those with a hand saw, a Japanese pull saw, a jigsaw, reciprocating saw, use whatever you got. You can even use your dad's favorite electric knife. And I've got the big speed square here, so I think we're ready to go, Jordan. Let's move these tools and lay out our very first stringer. Very first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna cut out our paper template right on the line. And check that out. How easy is that? I just laid it on the square, put my plywood up here on the long edge, the hypotenuse. We'll clamp it down. Let's remove our template and look at that. We are all ready to go. Didn't have to pull any measurements here. We relied on the template from the website. So now let's lay out our stringer and we get to use this awesome guide to cut our entire stringer and get these steps done. All right, gang, we got our stringer layout on top of our stringer. And the first cut I want to make is this one right here. Now that angle is the same as the one we just built in right here. So we're ready to go. We're going to line it up right there. I'm actually going to take a straight edge using my level right here. Put it against my square, remove the jig, and draw a line, and that's my cut line. So this piece right here is this piece right there. Let's get out the saw and make a cut. We're gonna leave the line. All right, so now we've got our point cut just like that. Now we're gonna hook our tape measure on this point, and all we have to do is pull all these numbers, make a mark on our stringer, and then lay out our jig. And remember, this is already accounted for all your accumulated error. It's gonna be perfect.
34 and 13.
34 and 13.
47 and 5.
47 and 5. Cool.
59 and 13.
59 and 13.
That's it.
Okay, nice. All right, gang, now all we gotta do is get our jig we made with the paper template and line it up between the 2 marks. Get our nice sharp pencil, lay it out, and there's our stairs, starting to take shape. Let me just go down the line, bust all these out, We're almost ready to start cutting out this stringer. And just like that, we have our first stringer laid out. How easy was that? And it even accounted for the math where most people mess up on the very first step here at the bottom. Notice that this is a much different height than our second step. That's because our subfloor here is the concrete, but we're gonna have a tread here and a tread here. It does the math, so all those steps are exactly the same. Let's pull out these bottom two stringers so I don't cut them, get set up with my circular saw, and cut our very first stringer. And there's our very first stringer. Couple things we want to talk about. This is the throat depth right here, the bottom of the stringer to your bottom of the notch. Where we are, minimum is 5 inches per code. We're at 5 1/4, so we're good. If we would have overcut this with a circular saw, so we didn't have to clean it up with the jigsaw, the inspector's gonna measure to that cut and fail us. So that's why we did it like that. And over here you'll notice we had a piece fall off. I guess there was a split in the board, but that won't matter. We'll fill it in if we have to, but remember that Advantech is gonna make up for that little bit right there. We're gonna be fine. You know what I wanna do, Jordan?
What's that?
I wanna test this, and I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous, but let's throw it up there, see how we did. All right, gang, we got our first stringer in place, and it looks awesome. So good to see Stairs finally going in. Now remember, we put this line down here a couple of videos ago. That's at 170 inches. Remember, that's the width of the bottom of our stairs. We are right there. That was a rough measurement, but to really prove ourselves, the template tells you the top of the stringer has to be 126 inches above the finished floor. We dialed it in with the tape measure, and we are looking perfect. So since this is perfect, why don't we use this to lay out our next two stringers? So why don't we thread this out of here, Jordan, mark our next two stringers, cut them, and we're ready to start building you some stairs. All right guys, all our stringers are cut and they came out fantastic. But before we install them, a couple things we want to do, a couple of details that's going to make this thing stronger and last a long time. First thing we did, we put a nailer right here on the edge of the right-hand stringer. Let me grab this 2x4, let's go in the stairway and I'll show you what that's for. I'm going to show you what it does on the left-hand stringer. It's going to go right here between the stringer and the wall. That's going to allow the drywall guys to drop a piece of drywall down. They just have to make one bevel cut instead of a bunch of sawtooth cuts, which would drive them crazy. So that's what that's for, and there's even room in there if you wanted to put like a hardwood skirt board or something like that. So we have one on the left and one on the right. One other detail we did, you might have already seen it, we put a piece of Gorilla flashing tape on the bottom because this is untreated wood, but it's actually going to be resting on our slab. And as often as we can, we don't want untreated wood on the slab. So we did that. We'll do that 3 times. Didn't have any zip tape yet, so I used some Gorilla flashing tape. Now there's one more thing we want to do. Follow me up there on a ladder and I'll show you what it is. Up here at the top, our stringer is going to be hanging down below our header, but we want it fully supported in the back. We could use a piece of Advantech and put it on here, let it hang down, attach our stringers to that, but it would push the whole stairs that way, 1 1/8 inches. We're already kind of close to that doorway. Jordan didn't want to give up that room at the bottom. We need a room to turn, right, for all your furniture? So we're actually going to put these 2x4s and pad out the bottom of that header like that, and that's going to give us enough room so that our stringers are fully supported. Let me grab the nail gun, I'll put these up, and we're ready for our stringers. They can walk on a job site and they know already, right?
Yeah.
Is that enough nails?
You like that?
Yeah, it's okay. All right, team, our stringers are all set to be lifted up. Now check it out. Here's what we did up here. Here's how we padded out our double 2x12 header. This line right here is 126 inches off our subfloor down below per our template drawing. That'll be our second to last step, the top of the stringers. I've pre-drilled pilot holes all the way through my double 2x12s for 6-inch structural screws. So Jordan and Rad are going to lift me the stringer. I'm going to line it up to my line. We're going to screw it off. Now a lot of guys would say put a hanger here. We could put one in the middle, but we really can't put one on the side because there's no way to nail it over here. So we're going to rely on structural screws to hold up this header. It's going to be fantastic. You ready, man?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
That's good.
All right, send it.
Go for it. Send it.
Here we go. Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice job. Perfect. Love it. All right, let me get one more screw in it. We'll put up this side.
Yeah, screw it off.
And these screws go in nice.
Good.
GRKs.
Nice.
Awesome. Let's get these up. I'm ready to build some stairs, man. Get up there on the second floor. Nice, man. Let's fasten these to the wall first so the middle one's not in our way.
Okay.
All right, guys, to make the stud pack stairway asteroid proof, we're using 6-inch GRK structural screws going through our stringer, through our 2x4 kicker, into our 2x4 wall. Of course, we got a 2x6 wall on the outside. So I'm gonna run a screw right here, secure the bottom. Perfect. Now I'm gonna put one in the stud pack holding up our beam, and then we're gonna show you a little trick to guarantee these studs aren't bowed so you don't drive your drywall guys crazy. All right, let's pull a measurement at the bottom. Yeah, from that guy to the stud pack, what do you got?
Beginning, 34 and an 8.
All right, now he's gonna hook it right here, and we're gonna pull that same number and get, all right, so that guy's gotta come in. Let me get this screw started first so we're not messing around with it.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's good.
Got it. I'll just do a couple more up there and we're ready for the middle stringer. All right, guys, all our stringers are done. We ran a 6-inch structural screw through every stringer, the blocking, and into every stud on each side. This thing is like the Rock of Gibraltar. And remember, we don't really have any supports here, but if I need to, we can always build a little pony wall here, throw up a beam or whatever. But with our Advantech risers and tread, this thing's gonna be super strong. Now, we do like to attach the middle stringer to the slab. A lot of guys will make a notch right here and put a 2x4 all the way across so these kind of key into the 2x4. You've seen that a lot. But what happens, you got some short grain here and that can crack. I like to simply put a block in between. We're gonna use these Simpson A35s. Picked up some screws, we're gonna screw it in place, and that way hopefully we minimize that notching and the chance of this splitting right there. I got all the tools that Jordan and Rad need. I'm gonna get out of the way and let them do it. All right, gang, and that's how we build the world's strongest stairs, concrete to stairway connection. Now it's time to start putting on our risers and our treads. Can't wait for that. Now our middle riser, since it's kind of unsupported here in the middle, it's a little bit meandering up there. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut our treads, make a mark on the back of it, have somebody back here, they can dial this in to the mark on the back of the tread, get it perfectly centered, just like we're putting a layout on our sill plates or our top plates for our studs, and we'll get this thing dialed in perfectly as we go up. So I'm gonna head to the saw and start cutting, but come on over here to the Advantech and let me show you my process and what I'm gonna use as far as scrap is concerned. These are the drops from the ends of the sheets, so we're gonna use those as our risers. These are the drops from the edges of our sheets, so we're gonna use all these. There's actually 3 more behind there. We're gonna use these for our treads because they're stronger in that direction. Y'all ready to build some stairs?
Finally,
Let's
yeah,
go,
let's do it.
finally.
All right, gang, this is our system. We're already halfway done. Figured we'd give you a little update on how we're doing it. It's very simple. We're using our Advantech polyurethane adhesive to glue every single riser and every single tread down. Just the best way to do it, huh, Rad?
Oh, yeah.
No squeaks. This thing feels solid. So this is our riser. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting some glue on each little area to match with each stringer. just like that. And then you could do this one man, but having two is a lot better. Rad flips it up.
Paul marked us in the middle here.
Right. Yeah, if we want to peel this back down, we could show them. Yeah. There's 2 marks right here. That's just going to help us to align this middle stringer in case it's twisted. That way we can get that sucker straight in and dialed in. So big old box of screws, like flush. And then we'll drive that screw. And then every single riser, we're putting the level on it and we're making sure that it's dialed. So Rad lifts it up until it's perfect or near perfect.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I love it. And then he's gonna hold it there. And I'm gonna come down with the screw just because I've already split a couple of stringers because I went too high. So
Perfect.
Get in the meat and then that's money. So now that it's perfectly level, based on that screw and that screw, I can finish screwing it off. And then Rad's making sure that he's in between the lines with the middle stringer.
It's a little twisted.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Boom. Rad gets the twist out. He's pushing the bottom. Boom. And that's it. And we just have to do that a million times. Treads. Same deal. Just some poly glue. And then we're gonna favor the inside of this riser. That way it doesn't squeeze out all over onto our beautiful Advantech riser. Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Boom. Flush it out.
Here.
Yep. And the quick drive gun for this is pretty cool. Definitely makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. That felt better.
Yeah. Boom.
Check it out, guys. We finally have Stair up to the 2nd floor. Rad and Jordan did an awesome job. But as you can see, we got the OSB subfloor up here on the very top sticking out, just like we planned. We got this riser which goes back here, so I got to cut it off so it'll project out and cover our riser. And flush here and flush here. So Rad's bringing me the tools. I'm simply going to mark it out and cut it with the circular saw. All right, team, check it out. The Stud Pack Dream House Stairway #1 is all done. We got to be honest with you. We finished this about 3 hours ago in the heat of the day. So we waited about 3 hours, let the sun go down, get some shade here, a little breeze. We cooled off, got refueled. But now that that's all done, let us show you a few of the details about the stairs. Now, in keeping with keeping the wood, the untreated wood off the slab, we cut our bottom riser short about 1/4 inch. So if this ever gets wet, it won't wick up into the Advantech. And we love using this Advantech for the stair treads. It's an awesome product and framers do it all the time. Now Huber will tell you they really don't recommend it for stairs, but I can't think of a more perfect product, especially since we glued it with their polyurethane glue and screwed it down.
And we know it's flat.
It's absolutely flat. And check out the scrap pile over there. What a great use of that awesome product. And as you can see right here, the drywall guys can drop their drywall all the way down, screw it off. Finished carpenters, Jordan, Rad, and Paul Incorporated, put their squirt board right here if that's what Jordan chooses to do. It's gonna look awesome. And if you think this side looks great, let's go underneath it and see how awesome that looks. So I'm underneath the stairs, and what an awesome space this is gonna be. But check out the stringer detail with the treads and the risers. Look how tight everything is. Part of that is due to our excellent layout, but we also ripped the risers just about 1/8 short so we could flush them out on top, and this inside corner wasn't gonna mess us up any.
You want to give yourself room to play, right?
You need room to play, right?
Yeah.
And you can see the squeeze out. Jordan and Rad did a great job with that. We only have one spot in the front. I'll give you a chisel later and you can scrape that off. And this middle riser came out perfect. Remember, I marked the centers and Rad was able to dial it in and get this thing perfect as he went up the back side. And remember those 3 little pieces of wood that broke out of the very first stringer we cut? Well, you can see the evening sun blazing through. 1, 2, 3 little corners, but as you can see, that won't matter because that is a glued, screwed connection. It's going to be fantastic. Now, this little area under the stairs, we asked all of y'all about it in a video a while back. What should we do with it? We got a lot of great comments, but in the end, what we're going to do, we're actually going to put a door here. If we would have left it open, that would have meant a beam up here, which would have meant a trip to the architect and what, Jordan? Another trip to the permit office, right?
Right.
Because you're amending the plans. So we're just going to put a 3-0 door here, probably swinging out against this wall. And we're kind of thinking, we've been talking about it with the electrician, maybe put the panel for the garage in here and maybe put our battery packs for your solar panels, Jordan.
Right.
I think this would be a cool closet for the electrical, mechanical side of things, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think we're at a point right now where that stuff is cool enough to like hang out, you know?
Oh, like on display all the time?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're not there yet.
Yeah, and I'd like to see it protected a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. This is a great spot for the panel. Got plenty of clearance.
It's a huge little closet.
Any wall in here
Yeah.
is a great spot for the panel. All right, guys, why don't you come up with me? Our first flight up the stairs, all together as the Stud Pack team. And this feels like going up a set of concrete stairs. That's how strong they are. But boom, now we're out of the shade. Now we're into the blazing sun, and it is steaming up here. And for all you binocular bobs out there, you might have noticed we had a burn pile going in the backyard. There's no burn ban here. We checked it, it was cool. And we burnt what, 2 trees, Jordan? And they went up like in 3 hours. Got the backyard nice and clean. So the backyard has come a long, long way since Mount Stud Pack was right there. So let me come on over here in the little bit of shade we have left and tell you about our next step. We're actually going to be tilting up the walls for the second floor, but it's not going to be anything like the garage. Totally different. We're actually going to have a combination of 2x4 and 2x6 exterior walls up here. And on the front here, 3 big windows with 3 big transom windows above those, so Jordan has an awesome view. Over here, we're actually going to frame out the doorway for the bridge that connects to the main house. So we have to frame in the doorway now, tie into it later. That's going to be a big challenge. We're going to have a closet right here. That wasn't on the plans. We kind of added that later because Jordan's going to need a closet up here because it's pretty small. He's got a lot of junk. Then we're going to have a wall right here, obviously, to separate us from our stairs. Here's our doorway coming in. You'll come up the stairs, doorway into the apartment. We're thinking about framing in a window right here for future. We'll sheathe over it. Maybe we'll add the window later. Maybe we won't. We'll see how it works. With this afternoon sun, window might not be a bad idea.
I like 2 windows, like 2 squares, like one up here and then one there.
I like those,
Like
the little squares. Yeah, just a fixed window.
Right.
Yep. So you come on in here. In the middle will be a double door, probably a slider, maybe a French door. I'm not a fan of French doors. Window on either side with a walkout porch looking over the backyard. And I think we may even screen that thing in to keep you safe from bugs, bud. So a quick camera swap because the Sony overheated in just about 2 or 3 minutes up here. That's how brutal it is on this second deck. Now over here, Jordan's going to be your bathroom. 4.5-foot wide shower. I heard your mom talking to you saying you should make that shower smaller and gain more room in the main space. What did you say? I like the big shower,
Yeah.
man. I think it's going to be cool. So shower, I can't remember, probably toilet, vanity, wall. So your bathroom's going to be about right there in that corner. And then all this right here, just a straight wall of counters and mini appliances for just a little kitchenette, something to get him by for a couple of years until the main kitchen is done in the big house. So the garage has 10-foot ceilings. This second story has 9-foot ceilings. So it's going to be a pretty tall structure. Plus we're going to have custom-made parallel trusses on top of all that. A lot of comments about what do our neighbors think over here. You're going to have a huge structure next door when we had that little bitty shed. Remember the shed we tore down? But they actually love it. Of course, this property, what we're doing to it, how we're enhancing it, is really increasing the property value of everybody on the street. Plus, this huge structure is going to give them shade right there where they park their cars, and they are in love with that. So that's going to be a wrap on this video, gang. All of us here at Stud Pack super appreciate all the awesome comments, all the likes, and all the support you've been giving to our channel lately. We're going to do our best to continue bringing you awesome videos. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Stud Pack Official. Leave us an awesome comment, drop us a question, please subscribe, and build an incredible stairway to your like button. Smash it, and we'll see you on the very next Stud Pack video.